Hi, my name is Tim Raney. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the Civil Engineering and Architecture program at Carmel High School. This class is a lot of fun. I've had a lot of students take this class that weren't necessarily interested in civil engineering, but they liked engineering and thought, there's no other course at this point, or I've heard of architecture, maybe I want to know a little bit more. So I get a lot of curious students, maybe not the ones that are necessarily interested in civil engineering per se. But usually by the end of the course, I have a lot of people interested in it. And I've had a lot of kids that came into the course that have said, I wasn't really interested in civil engineering, but by the end, I'm thinking of choosing this as my college major. We have a lot of fun stuff planned ahead. The first unit that we cover, we start to study civil engineering and architecture and see how they're different and how they overlap and that sort of thing. But from there, we start to ramp things up a little bit. And we talk about house styles, all the different types like ranch, southern colonial, bungalow, all those different ones that you'll hear about on HGTV. And then the students choose a style and they study it a little bit deeper, doing a presentation for the class, and then from there creating a model. So right here I have a model that was done in the past. This is a southern colonial. And I let them get a little bit silly. This person added a cow and a gnome to the front, but they covered all of the features of a southern colonial, and they have to put their features on here, the important features to that style, and then write a little narrative on the top. And then at the end, we have kind of a fun game where we put these around the room, and nowhere on these houses is written the actual style. So it's kind of like our fun version of a test. So all the house styles are around the room. The kids have to choose based on just the features that they're seeing. Next up in Unit 2, this is another really fun unit. We start to learn about the framing systems that go into a house or a structure. And we start off easy with just a basic shed, which is a good learning tool for anyone kind of getting into this field to build a shed. We're going to use our 3D modeling software and design a shed. So we're going to learn about the structure of it, how to put in a window, a door, and then how to put on our finishing materials on the outside like siding and that sort of thing. And then we're going to learn about how to create a landscape and add sidewalks and all the stuff that you would probably need to use this software. So it's an easy way of learning our software that, again, professionals use. So it's pretty high end and can be overwhelming. So I like to start small there. And then once the kids have a good grasp of the program, just designing a simple shed, I like to move into residential structures. So not just designing any home, but we like to take it a step further and study Habitat for Humanity homes, because this actually opens the door for some really good volunteer work if the students were interested in that sort of thing. So we study Habitat for Humanity guidelines. We set them up with a fake client, which is usually a classmate or a parent, and then they say what they want in their home, and then they take all that stuff through that interview, and following the guidelines end up designing a home. So we use sketching, we use bubble sketches actually to start, and then sketches on graph paper, and then we take all that stuff, we figured out our square footage and all that stuff beforehand, and we've gotten feedback from our client, then we end up designing it in the 3D modeling software. And these end up all over the place with their creativity, and they've turned out really well. And this is the one project I usually spend the most time on, because at the end I have them make a portfolio with all of their work. So not just their design work, but all of their calculations. So whether it's runoff from their roof or wastewater management or anything like that, all of their calculations go in there too. And I've had students in college as freshmen get internships that usually are dedicated for juniors or seniors in college, just because they were able to talk the talk and show them their portfolio. So it shows a quality work at a young age, which I think is really important. From there, Unit 3, we move from residential over to commercial buildings. And in this unit, I'm giving them a blank canvas to start. So they're given a warehouse in Noblesville, Indiana. And this actually happened. Noblesville, Indiana had this warehouse, and they wanted to make it their keystone project for their city. They wanted it to be this grand thing that the city kind of revolved around. So students are given this warehouse. We study commercial structures. We study all the stuff that goes into it and how it's a little bit different and how all of the codes are slightly different from residential. We study green roof technology, and they apply that to their library somewhere, usually on the second or third floor. They apply a green roof of some type, and it can be just something that's, just there and pretty and has its environmental impact, or it can be something that's somewhat of a park on the roof. So that's up to them and how creative they get with this. So we take this pretty far, the commercial project, and then they end up designing their commercial building, their Keystone Library. Unit 4 is the last one, and there we end up doing some fun projects outside, because usually the weather's starting to get a little bit warmer, so we'll do some soil surveying. We'll do some land surveying with surveying equipment out on the streets. And that's usually where we wrap things up, and then we move over to the tests. So throughout the year, I'm giving them hints as to what I feel would probably be on the end of the year exam, and then at the end I'll usually dedicate about 2 weeks to studying for the college test. So I try to give them every opportunity to do as best as they can on the college test to get those 3 credits through RIT. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Now, as far as the syllabus and all the other information you might want to see about the course, some good places to check out. First, I would check out pltw.org for more information on the Project Lead the Way program and all the extra stuff that could go into it, as far as like scholarships or information on getting college credit. All of that stuff is on pltw.org. They have some really great resources on there. As far as for us class specific, everything should be posted to Microsoft Teams. A lot of students have been checking there for their other classes, so we're pretty much all on board here. So if you check Microsoft Teams, you'll see all of our daily posts on what we're doing and any assignments that we're currently working on and the due dates and all of that stuff. There are also grades there as well. So if you don't see a grade posted to Parent Portal, chances are the grade is in Teams and it just hasn't been moved over yet. So you can check Teams for all of the important information that you may be looking for. All right, I look forward to working with your child, and we're going to have a fun year.